I'd like to welcome to the stage our next speaker, Keren Martino, owner of KMA Tax Law Office in Israel, a founding attorney and the owner of KMA Tax Law Office, specializing in Israeli taxation, particularly VAT. Please welcome Keren to the stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here today. My name is Keren Martino, and I am the founding attorney and the owner at KMA Tax Law Office, specializing in Israeli taxation with an emphasis on VAT. I have been serving as the VAT Committee co-chairman of Israeli Bar Association for the last 7 years. I have an LLB degree with a major in government and an LLM degree in business law, both from Reichman University in Israel. It's a great honor to be here today to present for the first time my vision for solving Israel's most painful problem, the conflict with the Palestinians, and especially during these war days. But before I talk about my vision, I want to present my background, which has led me to understand that the only way to end this conflict is a political arrangement. I was born in Sharm el-Sheikh, a city in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, which was occupied by Israel during the Six-Day War of 1967. For the first years of my life, we lived outside of time, communally with our neighbors and with nature, often barefoot on the beach, at peace with the local Bedouin population. When Israel signed a peace treaty with Egypt, returning the Sinai, our entire community was forced to evacuate. And so I learned from a young age that the price for peace can be painful, yet worthwhile for the sake of being better neighbors. We moved to my mother's hometown, Ramle, a unique city where Jewish, Christian, and Muslim residents coexist. I learned a particularly important lesson in Israeli society: not to fear the other, to see beyond socioeconomic status and cultural differences, to value individuals. It is where I came to feel deeply that everyone is deserving of equal opportunities. Undertaking my mandatory military service at age 18, I was rapidly promoted from the Home Front Command to become the second woman in Israel at the time to be chosen as an HR officer of Combat Battalion. The job was huge. Essentially a human resource manager for about 600 infantry soldiers and commanders. One of the aspects of my service at the battalion made one thing crystal clear to me: the ongoing conflict takes too high a toll. When there were casualties, and there were, I had to identify the fallen soldiers from my battalion, gather their belongings, and return them to their families. The process broke my heart. After growing up in Sharm el-Sheikh and Ramle, I knew that the coexistence was possible. When I was released from the IDF after almost 6 years, I knew I wanted to study law, but I also chose to combine my studies with a major in government to understand how policy is formulated and to learn how international conflicts and relations with neighboring countries are conducted. During university, since my family's financial situation was difficult, I had to work to finance my studies and living expenses. To add practice to the theory I was learning, I applied to a major commercial law firm, persuading them to invent the position of pre-intern for me. In my 2 years at the firm, working closely with a partner involved in some of the largest commercial transactions in Israel, I saw that no deal was finalized before the tax attorney explained the tax implications. Moreover, I was impressed by the creativity they demonstrated in finding solutions to ensure that the tax consequences of a deal did not harm its economic viability. Following my love for the fields of taxes, I was accepted for an internship in the legal department of Customs and VAT division of the Israeli Tax Authority, where I remained as a lawyer for 2 more years. At the time, I received an offer from one of the leading tax offices in Israel to join them, where I worked for about 6 years. 7 years ago, I established the KMA Tax Law Office. The practice has become both vibrant and successful. As I mentioned, I'm an Israeli citizen born in Sharm el-Sheikh, in the Sinai Peninsula, and uprooted when Israel returned the area to Egypt. I learned from a young age that the price for peace can be painful, yet worthwhile for the sake of being better neighbors. We have had a peace treaty with Egypt for over 40 years after many difficult wars, but still virtually none at all with our Palestinian neighbors to this day. The conflict is long, bloody, and complex. I can personally attest, after serving in the Israeli Defense Forces for nearly 6 years, that it takes too high a toll on both sides. Creating a system that better promotes economic cooperation between the parties can lead to improved political relations between them. I understand the enormous geopolitical complexity of my goal. There are so many shared and cross-border challenges, ranging from politics to sectors such as water resource management, energy, and security. But the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We can use the tax system to benefit Israel by benefiting the Palestinian Authority. In Israel, there's a set of tax laws called the Capital Investment Encouragement Law, which is intended to stimulate socioeconomically weak towns and regions. These laws offer to Israeli companies that establish factories and technology businesses in these underdeveloped areas tax benefits. Reasoning that increasing the supply of diverse jobs encourage the local population to acquire education and professional training, thus strengthening the community overall. I propose studying this set of tax laws in conjunction with similar international laws currently in practice to formulate new legislation in Israel for the express purpose of stimulating the Palestinian economy. The laws would grant significant tax benefit to Israeli entrepreneurs who establish factories and technology companies in Palestinian areas. More specifically, they would receive grants and pay a reduced corporate tax rate, as well as receive additional tax benefits on profits which are reinvested in development of similar enterprises. A commitment to employ a high proportion of Palestinian workers, including in management positions, means more workers will strive to acquire professional education and training, with the added incentive that they will be entitled to all benefits that the State of Israel provides to employees. The goal is twofold. First, establishing these industrial areas stimulate the commerce needed to support them, including grocery stores, restaurants, raw material suppliers, and home construction near the work site. And in so doing, develop the entire region economically. Second, if properly structured, the laws can create a financially economic independence or financial independence that is sustainable. 5 to 7 years out, when the Israeli plants and businesses are financially stable, they will be able to sell their cooperation with exempt from tax as long as the sale is to a Palestinian resident. This exemption from tax afforded Israeli entrepreneurs is a powerful development tool in creating a Palestinian economy independence structure. It is true that in the current political climate, some people perceive Israeli enterprises established in Palestinian areas as exploitative. However, a plan that not only creates jobs, but is specifically designed not just to take advantage of inexpensive labor, but to mobilize Israeli in a comprehensive way to strengthen the Palestinian economy is a major positive game changer. There is a beautiful logic to having the State of Israel encourage Israeli entrepreneurs to use their power economic to strengthen the Palestinian prosperity. Mutual economic cooperation and interdependency will increase the incentive for both sides to avoid violent actions, and as well as lay the foundations for future political independence. I strongly believe that this model can be an integral part of a political settlement and will benefit both sides. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that.